Evening all, down at the apiary this evening. All I want to do this evening is to talk to you about what I'm going to do tonight. And all I'm going to be going in is I'm going to be doing a little tutorial on about the hive, the condition what it's in, how it's doing right now, what the different parts are, and also feeding the bees as well as they're developing. I did a little vote poll thing on Instagram, and it seemed that people wanted to understand how a hive worked. So I'm going to talk to you with my hive here down at the apiary, and I'll discuss the different parts. And I will be going to the hive, but I won't be going into the full amounts because it's quite late on the evening. I don't want to disturb them now too much. All I want to do is go in, give them some food, maybe check them a little bit, but not too much. I'll be back on Saturday. So let me spin this round and I'll show you inside the hive. Okay, so here we are at the hive as it is right now. So as you can see, I've got my smoker lit going, got a little toolbox with some gear. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about the different parts of the hive before I go into it. So there's a few different sections to a hive. So this part here, from here to here, is called the brood box. I'll just wait for that tractor to go past. So this is the brood box from here to here. Now the brood box is where the queen will be, and where your eggs are, and where all your main bees are. As you can see right now, as you look in here, you'll notice that they are coming in and out of the hive still this evening. And that's the entrance there. Then what you've got is, like I say, this is the brood box where all the bees are situated right now, including your queen, your drone, and also your worker bees. Then you'll notice that there's this section here. This is my queen excluder. Now the idea between the queen excluder is that you don't want the queen getting from this section into this section here, which I'll talk to you about what it is in a minute. So basically it's like a metal grid, and basically the worker bees that make and produce your honey can get into this section, but your queen stays in this section of the hive. Then you've got this part of the hive here, from here all the way onto the underside of this lid, which is called your super. Now your super is literally where your honey is made, where your worker bees are what you'll find. And then your last bit is what you can't see right now, is you'll have a crown board, which is basically a board that goes on the top, and then you have this here, which is your lid. Okay, now I'm going to go inside the hive now, and I'll show you a little bit inside of it and explain a bit more. See you in a bit. Okay, so as I take off the lid of the hive, you'll see right now inside there is 2 jars. Now this is what I am feeding them on right now. You'll notice that they are completely empty, which is why I wanted to come in. So basically I've got some sugar water, and in that sugar water I'm going to feed them sugar water, which is 1-to-1 sugar water, and I'm only feeding them because they are a new hive and they need some food. So see you in a sec. Okay, so this is what I've done. So I've just literally just filled up sugar water into the jars, and as you'll notice there's little holes that are in the jars, and so they go upside down as you saw before, and they trickle out slowly, and the bees will then just come up to the top here and take sugar water when they want. Okay, I'm going to take off the next bit here, which is what's called the super, which is what we saw before. Now this super is currently empty. However, when it's full, you'll have frames going across here, which is where you'll find the honey from the worker bees. Now I've took the super off. This is what's called the queen excluder. So as you can see, it's got little grids, and so basically this section here, it keeps the queen in this section of the hive, which is the brood box, and stops the queen from coming up into the super. The reason why we want her to stop coming onto the super is because she'll lay eggs, and she can lay say 2,000 eggs a day in this brood box here, and if she was laying in the super part, then your honey will be contaminated with eggs, and that's what we don't want. So we keep the eggs and we keep the queen down in the brood box, and we keep all the lovely honey in the next section, which is here called the super. Now we're into the actual brood section, and I'm not going to go actually into the brood section tonight because I don't want to disturb what's going on, but I just want to give you an idea of what's inside the brood and what's going on. So as you can see, we have all the bees in the section. So basically, as you also would have seen on the previous video, I basically had a small box that was at this side here called the nuke. Now that's how the bees come. They have 5 frames in them, as you can see here, 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 and here, here. 5 frames, and they're full of bees. Now, I don't think I can actually show you, but basically what you're looking at here is all the worker bees, and inside there will be a queen bee. I'll do a separate video on the demonstration of the difference between a queen, a worker, and also a drone bee. The drone bees are the males, and there won't be many males in there. There might be, I don't know, 100 males in there if I'm lucky. Don't need many males at all. They're quite lazy. All they do is eat the food, and at the end of the year they get kicked out by the women, and they go off and die. They literally are just there to be in for the hive for their semen. That's it, nothing more. And the workers, which are, if I look closely, you can see all the workers, they're all females. Every single one of them are females, and they all look quite healthy, well doing, and everything like that. I don't want to disturb them too much, like I say, because it is quite late in the evening and I don't want to disturb them. But they're building out the frames in the centre. Don't like they're doing much on the other 6 frames on the either side of the brood box. It's going to be quite a while, probably at least another month before they build out these other 3 frames on either side. You can see that they're really quite friendly. Don't really need to worry much about bees in terms of much. It's mad how friendly they are. I mean, look, right now there's probably 3,000-4,000 bees in there, and I've literally come into their home and disturbed them, and yet they're not attacking me. They're quite friendly. I could go up to them, let's see, my hand right there. I can touch them if I want, and they'll literally just go back into the hive and protect themselves. So yeah, I'll do a bit more of an in-depth, if you like, of a brood box and also a super box, but I'm not going to do it on this one. I just want to show you a live hive and what it's doing. Here's an interesting fact with the bees as well, because you might think, why am I going into them? And it's quite late. Yes, the only reason I'm going into them right now is to feed them, but I want to give you a quick introduction of the hive and make the content a bit more interesting for you. Here's a little fact: the bees in this box can regulate their own temperature of the hive. They will not die of frost, they will only die of dampness, and that means that they will keep the hive between 17 and 38 degrees throughout the year, depending on what they need to. Okay, and with that, that's everything I think I need to tell you. I'll show you me sealing it back up, and show you me leaving the food on, but hopefully that was quite interesting, and if you like it, I'll do more. Thank you, bye for now.